So down here in Somerset on another search for some beach fish, and it's fabulous countryside, as you can see all around there. Really nice neck of the woods. I've checked into a B&B in what the lady calls her emergency room, just for one night, and I've got to try and hit 3 beaches. One, it's a bit breezy here. One I never do any good on, but it does throw up some decent fish. Second one I do okay on, and it's an evening tide, and that's my banker. Tomorrow tides are all wrong again. It's sort of middle of the day low tide, but I'm going to fish it anyway, because sometimes down here in Somerset, because it goes in and out so far, you can get some good fishing. Let's crack on and see what it looks like. If the water's still there, I'll be pig sick. I've walked all this way and I didn't bring my rods with me because I'm waiting for low tide. Sun's out, the breeze I'm hoping is just slightly off my right shoulder. The water as always is mud coloured here. It's got a long way to go out yet. Oh, joking apart, it's fishable. There's not one person here. Oh, do I just dive back and get my rods? I think I do, guys. I think that there's worth a throw. Panic time. I might get an hour's fishing squeezed in here while I wait for low water. Well, it's windy than I thought down there, but basically I came down just to do a bit of filming because I thought it'd be low tide. I think it's still falling, and I wonder if in fact they're neap tides, which means they don't really pour out onto the mud flats fast. So I might sneak an hour's fishing here, then either leave my gear here and go for a walk, and I quite fancy having a look around that way. But listen, if I can squeeze an hour, it's an extra hour that you never know something might turn up. On the right hand rod I have a whole Atlantic shell-on unpeeled prawn, frozen from the supermarket. I have peeled it and bound it on. That's on a pulley panel. The left hand rod is my own rig. It's a 2-hook long loop, I'm calling it. It's just 2 long snoods, and obviously with 2 hooks single up there, is it any more likely to get snagged than a twin hook pennel gets snagged? That's 2 hooks, or I got 2 hooks on 2 snoods. I don't know. It can be snaggy down here, but listen, the only other thing is the fish might be sort of flying out here because the tide's falling. So it's not like they're coming in to feed. They are probably fed and are going out. So it's a gamble, but I might as well have a bait in the water, mightn't I? Even if it's only 3 or 4 inches, you don't know. Something might smell it. Fabulous setting. There's not another angler in sight. I don't know why. As I do this, it's a bank holiday. Why are there no other people here? And another tug here and another monster ship out there. There's Hinkley Point Power Station, and it sort of just mildly bothers me that they might be dredging over there to put some inflow or outflow pipe in, and that might mess the fish up here. I don't know. It is coloured, but then the Bristol Channel is always coloured. As the saying goes, folks, you know what it's like. You've got to be in it to win it. One bite, one dogfish would be worth it for me. Well, it's pretty breezy, so I'm trying to shelter the camera here as well. But something obviously got too much time on my hands. I've been meaning to do is to actually, while I wait for the rarity of a bite, and it's a falling tide, is to just move some of the boulders so that I can walk up and down rather than have those awful ankle breakers. And it's quite easy. I've made myself a nice little pathway. And if all anglers did this, I know if you have a major storm, they all get covered up again. But if there's a spell like now, there's a week of sort of fairly settled weather, then there's a week where anglers can go up and down and have a bit of space. Put your tackle, you don't twist your ankle, you don't fall over, hopefully. Don't lose any gear and swivels, down in the stones. So it's all sort of ankle breaker here. I said I'd never fish here again, and here I am. Such is the reputation of this place. Mind you, the rods are currently registering 0, but I think I've got the tides right. They're just a lot later going down, so I figure they're neat. So you see it's all boulders here. Then I've got to there, and if you look, I've actually cleared a pathway just lobbing them either side, and I've got, look, a nice flat place to walk down, no tripping, no ankles going over. Is that not better? Like that. You see, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes clearing those boulders. Obviously, as the tide goes down, I work my way through it, and perhaps they're too big to move down there, but I can nevertheless make myself a little casting area so I don't trip over as well. A lot more cloud than I thought, but hey ho, it's fishable. I've already seen one small crab under the rocks, but he dived away, otherwise he'd be on the hook and out there for a smooth hound. There's a load here. Do you see him? He's a lively little chappy, very good hook for mullet if you're struggling for baits. So when searching around amongst the rocks, I found a load of leader and fishing line there. Look, bunches of it. One's got a nice little snap link and a swivel attached to it. The problem is, if I don't pull it up, I'm going to get snagged up. And there is a panel rig, somebody else's rig that was snapped off there. But bonus, cream, icing on the cake, it's the topping. 3 leads, oh my God, 3 new leads. Not shiny, but new, oh my God. There's 4. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's the equivalent of catching a decent fish off the shore. I love finding stuff that other people have lost, and these have been tied with a what's called a rotten link at the bottom there. You see the loose line they've done? And trust me, it's definitely worked. But however, the guy must have lost hooks. Now look at the points off these hooks. Now that's probably where he's pinged them against a rock on the way in and pulled for a break. I mean, they could have just corroded like that, but always be careful with the point of a hook on rocky ground. Check those points for sharpness, because winding across rocky ground might not get you a huge conger eel like this one is not. Oh, happy days, at least I get to catch something. I'm never really lucky on this mark, but I'd settle for this small eel. It's something, and it's going back in the water, together with all the slime all over my fingers. Back he goes. You can see how coloured the mud is. And look there, because the tide's dropped down, you can see where my line is. I'm just walking back up and I find, hang on a minute, oh, lovely. 50-pound braid, and it's got a loop on itself. That's going to be some fun. I think, Graham, you should sort that out later and just wind it on the reel. Also at low tide, you can see, these are, I think I call these rock oysters. That one is sort of busted apart, or a dead one anyway. But they got a nice shell to them. And I'm almost sure, I'm sure they're called rock oysters. That was just busted off there. You can see there where the boulders actually give way. It's another little creaturey thing that you can find below the, the water line. There's another rock oyster there. Somebody else tell me what else are they called if they're not called rock oysters. That's what I've always known them as. And you can see here from the boulder strewn huge beach. It goes to sand at the end, and that's what the anglers are trying to reach, that sand. They're trying to get their baits on the sand. But you can see it's all broken up from the storms there. But when it's really low like this, I can walk right out there. Now on a spring tide, I've been out there and nearly got stuck totally. So about another, say, 40, 50 yards out, it goes way out, at least another 200 yards than that. I would recommend not going too far out, because it suddenly sinks, and you really don't need to get caught in that. Because, if you get your boots stuck and the tide's coming in, trust me, it comes in really fast. So I'm just winding in for a check. Obviously with the water falling like this, there's not much depth out there. And there's my bait. not really chewed or anything, so time to move, I feel. Whew. Well guys, it went from, I won't say bad to worse because I had the eel, but the wind's gone to the east and that's freshened up. So time to move. I want to hit the other spot. I've got like 2 hours, it's 2 hours either side of high water, and the gentleman next to me had absolutely nothing as well. So I figure time to move on. Another big yomp, lumber in the gear, back to the car, and I've got to drive 10 miles further down the coast and try this other spot for 4 hours. Yeah, this is my old stamping ground of St Aldridge. You can see from the shore there's a line of stones there, then there's some mud, then there's the water. So I want the water just to touch that mud. Meanwhile I'm waiting for that tide to come in. There's nothing better than just laying down and staring at the sky. There's no point in me casting out because there's about 1 inch of water out there. So I'm going to chuck the spinning rod out, people, because there's an outside chance of some small fish, I would guess. Pouted, maybe whiting. So I'm going to throw the spinning rod out, and I've got one of Tony Kerridge's rigs here. I've no idea what it's called. But pieces of herring sliced up. One of our supporters donated a load of fish bait to us, and I went and picked them up from Reigate, and I've actually been using them, getting through them guys. Grip net, 2 hooks up here and 1 below the lead. So it'll have a name, but you'll have to phone up Tony's Tackle to find out what it's called. I'm just going to whack it out because when it's low down like this at tide, I know I can get on the sand even with a bag cast and a spinning rod. It's about like 60 yards, so it's not great, but it's better than nothing. And you could get lucky on this. You could always get lucky on these small hooks. So what I don't need now is some bright spark or dog walker running along the bottom edge of the tide line as the tide comes in and go through all my braid lines. So I'm out and fishing. The sun is going down, it's going to be superb tonight. I'm not saying the fishing, I'm talking the setting. Well, it's 8:30 at high water, is at 9 o'clock. I can tell where the water is already with only 30 minutes to go. It's a falling neap tide, so it's about the worst one I could get. It is what it is, guys. It is deader out there than a hedgehog trying to cross a motorway. Nothing. I can only hope once that sun goes down, hits the horizon, the low light level, I might get lucky when the tide turns the other way. I've got about an hour and a half. Disappointing, but a fabulous evening. No. A bite up on this, on the big rod there. I've struck twice, can't get it. I don't know what, look. That's not me. There he is. I've got a lot of slack line here, look. The drag is, you can easily pull line off there. Loads of slack line there, and that is just literally, look, as the sun's going down. I know he's still up, he's still there, look. I'm thinking dogfish, but it could of course be a small conger, but I think it's a dogfish. Let's see if he's got it. He's actually had ages. Nothing. Well, that's twice I've wound on him and felt nothing. Oh, I actually had a bite on the shotgun rod here. Back again, boys. Same rod. I'm going to try him early this time. Just tapping away there. I can feel him down here on the line across my fingers. Got him this time. I've got the camera in my mouth. Keep him coming. Oh, don't get hung up. Gotta be a doggy. Is that a conger? Doggy. Ha ha ha. At long last, success in every packet, and the doggies come to save the day. Mr. Doggy, back he goes. Sun's gone, all the people at the beach are gone. Thank goodness for the dogfish. He was probably on there all the time and always was striking and didn't feel the weight of it. Sun's gone behind the clouds now, so I've got an hour and 5 minutes. Very often, sometimes on the falling tide, I've noticed here, you do get the odd bite, but I mean, there's no movement in the tide, absolutely nothing. Having said that, I've got no weed, have I? I can't grumble. But when it gets like this, and the other big mistake, come down, blazing sun, wear your sunglasses, Graham, fish into the dark, where are your reading glasses to walk with? Let's leave those in the car. That way you've got those dangerous cliffs 200 feet, like this, in a pair of sunglasses at night with no torch. I don't think I must have been at the back of the queue when they were dishing out brains, I think. And yes, look, somebody on the Welsh side has Boom! They've caught a dogfish as well. What a way to celebrate. So I just chilled out there waiting for that sun to get about where it is now, and that's the chance of when the fish could come inshore. Well, I've stayed longer than I thought. It's 10:30 at night. Several sort of real bangs on the rod top, and they just come to nothing. So I guess it's just the odd dogfish tugging at the bait. Say not the greatest fresh bait I've got, but that's all I could use. That's all I've got. So I'm gonna call it quits. Gonna get back to the B&B, have a few hours sleep. And I think I just got to go to the third and final beach and see if I can't get one decent fish out of it. Boy, it's getting cold too. And they got the karaoke disco up there or something, so it's the wind's carrying it this way. He's had over the back end of that trout and just missed the hook. Just my luck. So I'm down on the beach, there's some other guys down there now. It's a great fishing spot, but it can also be tough. I think, to be honest, they like it when it's a little bit cleaner. You know, as far as snaggy line gets out there, but it's a job to know, because you always tend to go back to the space where somebody else has had a fish, and if the gear's lost there, you're going to come straight into that gear. So it's a sort of balance between trying new ground and risking a blank, or fishing a busy spot, you know, that's known, and risking losing your gear out there. Here we go, heave out goes the spinning rod. So I've got this up. I've got the brolly up in a blazing sunshine. Hopefully you guys can get some form of sound out of this, but I'm here on my third attempt at a beach. It's lunchtime, it is 12:05, tide's falling, like the worst tide, going out, stopping, coming in. I'm not going to be here for high water, I've got to get home. I'm just going to soak some bait. I've been in the tackle shop down in West Coast Tackling, watch it. Spoke to Steve, and basically it's just a sort of bait soaking exercise. But he told me stick with just squid and sand eel really. So fingers crossed I get something. This one behind me, that right hand rod, I think that might be hung at the bottom. He told me not to come too far up. It's very, very snaggy. Probably just on the edge of the snags, knowing my luck. But no bites yet, but let's wheel one in. Basically, the weather is exquisite. Porlock Bay is down, well, this is Porlock Bay. Down over there is Porlock. Fished down there before. And I've been out with Tom in his boat down there, I think on a tope fishing expedition. Basically, the further you come west down the Bristol Channel, the clearer the water gets. I could see a demarcation line out there. So I've no idea, I don't think I've fished this state of tide before. There's only two other guys just up the beach. Way down there. They're laying down mostly, which tells me there's not a lot going on. So let's check this guy, and I'm hoping it's not snagged. Oh, I've got to crank like crazy to get it off the bottom, to keep it coming. Speed binding is the word. I fear there's nothing on there, but at least I know I can get it off the bottom. Don't want to snag up on the way in. Been out about 20 minutes or so. But you can see here, fabulous scenery. I want to see if that bait's been chewed. Well, the grip didn't trip out. I think that bait's been chewed. Now, second hook's pulled down. Wow, that was on squid, and that's what Steve said use. He said use squid. Skid? He said use squid. I'm going to have to drop these rods down as well. Well, it was a bite, trust me. And come back. That's how far the water's gone in about 30 minutes. And that's only a small tide, not a big tide. You have to move those guys down. So this is my stone armchair. By moving the bigger boulders around and leaving the smaller ones as a sort of seat, I can build up around my back and shoulders, sit there, keep the wind off. Happy as Larry, put a coat down there, look. And just sit back and chill while I'm waiting for the bites that don't seem to want to come. And although it's windy, I'm okay. Up there. And they're remaining, unfortunately for me, motionless. I'm feeling it's time for another bait up or de-snagging session. Nothing from the lads down there, nothing else come there. Maybe it will change when the tide turns. Well, I've made another little sun lounging area. It shows you what the bites have been like. I just had a couple of times real hammering, bang, 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 bang bites, gone. I don't know whether it be bass, I don't know, are they dogfish tugging at it? But they just don't come back. It's like yesterday, it's almost like they've been hooked before and they don't want to be caught. I'm almost like I'm in freshwater fishing problems here. It's peculiar, and I mean, look, I'm not talking little taps, I'm talking really good bangs. 2 hooks, whole squid. Anyway, I've noticed when I bring in, a lot of the time your lead's bumping over the stones, isn't it? Well, obviously the point of the hook's going to ping on the stones, even though all these, look, they're all rounded, so they're unlikely. It's the line and the lead that snags in these jams, in these gaps here. Obviously offended. That's what happens generally. The line gets in there and then slides through and then jams up, and then you pull for a break, and then that's it. But when I was in the tackle shop getting the bait, I was talking to Steve, this is in the Watch It tackle shop, and he was saying about hooks. I bought some extra hooks, bought some hooks. There were mustad something or others. I don't sell them, I don't sell them. I just bought these mustad ones, 3Os. And he said, I said, what's the difference between those and the chemically sharpened? Obviously chemically sharpened are very, very sharp. He said chemically sharpened are good once, but once they lose their point, it's a devil trying to get them sharp again, which I found when I used to go tarpon fishing years ago, using the owner hooks. I couldn't get a point back on them again. It was almost one fish and that was it, done. So what Steve was saying, if you get ones like the Viking, I think it's called a Viking, I must have Viking, he said you can file them and you can get a point back on them. So there you go. They're sort of, I guess, a chemically sharpened versus non-chemically sharpened. Chemically sharpened, pain in the butt trying to get a good point on them again once they start dinging over, or blunting, dulling I'm going to call it. Somebody out there may know a super duper way to sharpen them, but I don't. And if you want the others, just try those mustard ones. That's what they use down here, these 3.0 Vikings. So next time I come in with my small rod, I'm going to change over and put those Vikings on, and just won't make any difference, I don't suppose. But if I do get a fish, I don't want it coming back like this. Now the other problem is, I've got to tell you people, right, the other problem is springy hooks. So you're fighting a fish, it will spring off, and you think, well, why is it not bent? I don't understand what lost the fish. Listen, if it's bent open, then you know you've lost the fish, it stays bent open. If it's a springy hook, it springs back, you lose a fish, but it springs back in position. So you sort of go, why have I lost that fish? Could be because the wire is too springy. There's a lot to be said for all the different hooks. Fine, like me, if you're just catching anything, it doesn't really matter. Well, when I do catch something, small fish, average fish. If you're getting for bigger fish, then you need the right hook for the job. I just thought I'd mention that. Well guys, it's not raining, but I've got this up for sound effect for the wind. I've got to turn around here, pan around. It is blowing pretty hard. Can't see it. I've had one bite, maybe 2 bites in 6 hours. I've now got out there 2 whole squid. Now it's not 2 whole squid on one rod. You're going to get blown away. That's 1 whole squid on each rod. I've just gone for broke, and unfortunately it will be broke. So it's a blank on this one. I'll have to take you guys somewhere else fishing, try and catch a fish. I've driven, God, 200 and something miles for 1 eel and 1 dogfish. You can't say I'm not enthusiastic. Well, I'm not enthusiastic. No, I'm not definitely not enthusiastic. I think the beach gear's going away for a while. It's just the way it is. Guy down there, they packed up and gone there, 1 dogfish. There's a bunch of guys turned up, family and that. I guess you're going to have a barbecue. They're all fishing down the end, not 1 fish. I don't understand it. I don't pretend I do. I don't. The thing is, there's no locals down there, and that sort of rings the alarm bells. But what a setting over here. There's a drop back bite, but it's not a drop back bite, it's just the grip getting pulled out because the tide is pouring to the right now, flooding in. Should be fish there, and there just ain't. I don't know what it is. There's nothing. But what a setting. All down there, beautiful. The sun's going to go down there. It's clouding up. You can see it's all clouded up. A little bit of blue up there. It's been a very enjoyable couple of days. Fishing's been disappointed, but I thoroughly enjoyed the weather. And as stupid as I am, you know me. I know I'm going to be back. Listen, the film we put up, what was it? For you guys would be the last film to go up. I mentioned about a dog that I saw at a fishery called a Patterdale, which I had never seen before. Oh my God, if you haven't seen that film, go on the comments page. How many dog people on there making comments? I found it really interesting. It was a species that I didn't know anything about at all. He was a nice, sort of real cutie pie little dog. And I like dogs, obviously. I have today taken delivery of Mike's Jack Russell, because I've had 3 Jack Russell myself, so I speak, as I've told you before in the films, fluent Jack Russell. I am learning early stages kite talk. I'm learning that. I haven't mastered the arrows yet, because I'm in bed most of the time at night, aren't I? But anyway, this dog speaks English with me. He does honestly. He also does training. Now they are so sharp, the Jack Russells. We have a little game when we get him delivered to us when Mike's out for the day and wants us to take care of him, called Mousey Mousey. Now, a mouse or a rat indeed with a Jack Russell is generally a one-way ticket, isn't it? That's what they love. So this is a little game I play with him, but just look how sharp he is. I go underneath the duvet with my hand. I barely move it or scratch it. He hears it. He's on it. Trust me. He sometimes bites really hard, shaking my fingers and my hands up there. Just a little game we have. So I see if he can do it. I see if I can get him. Now listen, he might not do it. He might be shy of the camera. Let's get set up. Stay. Stay there. I'm going to play Mousey Mousey. Don't tell Auntie. Play Mousey Mousey. Are we going to play Mousey Mousey? Look at him looking. Look at his ears. Wait, wait, wait. Wait. Where's Mousy? Mousy gonna come? Is he come over there? Is he gonna come over there? Ah! He got me! He got me! There's another mouse. Where's the other mouse? Wait. Where the hell is he? Where's that other mousey? Oh, he's got it! What about this one? Here. Oh, missed it. Hey! Oh, get my finger! Ow. Wait. How fast is that? They got no chance if they're a mouse. Watch him. He's down there. Oh, he's got him! Shriek. He's down there. Oh, he's got it! He's a good boy. Now, he has to go and do your homework, don't you? You want to do homework, don't you? We're going to see a few of your arch enemies, aren't we? We're going to talk about them. We'll see if you recognise who they are. Come and do your homework now. Now you think that he can't read, but he has to go to school. I'm sorry, I have to teach him human language, and he teaches me Jack Russell talk, so we can converse together. So what we do is, well, you think he can't read, but he can. If I show him these, I'm sure we get a reaction. Deer. He hates deer. He smells them a mile away. Let's see what he does. The one we don't want him chasing is, oh yes, Mr. Badger. That might be a one-way ticket down a badger hole. And he does his own Jack Russell spelling. He has taught me this, in fact. So that's pheasant, which we all know, and his worst arch enemy of all that he hates. If he smells one, he goes ape doo-doo. Yes. Let's see if we get a reaction from him, shall we? As you can see, there's a certain amount of bribery involved in this. Now he knows the words R-I-G-H-T, which means, if you watch his face, right. And the other words are, I'm going to say in human talk, I am going. And if I say, he's watching, here he goes, I'm going. Are you getting ready? Wait. You know who we're going to see? He's here. Read that. Dear. Jesus Christ. It had me ear off. Now wait. Don't tell me he doesn't speak and read, properly read. Because you know the most dangerous one of ever is here. Mr. Badger. Good. Now, see if you can read this, read the paper properly. This is your homework for the night. It's one of those birds. It's a... I didn't even get the pheasant. It's a pheasant. And wait. Here. It is... Oh my God, he's seen the paper. Look, he's reading it. See him read it then, look. Just here, wait. He's reading it. It's his arch enemy. Mr. Foxy. Oh, he's got to go. Now, that's very good reading. You're just going to do your counting. You've got to do maths as well. We'll do algebra later, but we'll do the maths first. Wait a minute. You think he can't count? Yeah, he can count. He's a fully trained Jack Russell. Don't think there is such a thing. Come round here. Come round here. Watch him count, everybody. Ready? You can count, can't you? 1, 2, 3. Can you get to 4? 4, 5. When he actually gets to about 50 or 60, he'll be the size of a St. Bernard dog. But of course, he knows he's going OUT. If you can see the coiled spring, he's ready to get me now. If I say, let's go! Come on! Good boy. Now show the people your teeth. Sit. Wait. Wait. This is about the only Jack Russell. Come here, babe. Come here. Here. Watch. Show the people the teeth. Good boy. Let me see. He's the only dog I know that lets you look at his teeth. He's been very well trained by Mike. And ruined by me. Let's go and see. He's getting ready to go. He's going to see Mr. Foxy! There you go. That was something woof woofy, wasn't it? Now then, I'm in the garden. I hear a shriek from the wife. Oh my God, look what is in. Check it out. Oh my God, there's a frog in the watering can. A frog in the watering can? No, it's a mouse or, perchance, a rat. Well, let's face it, it's safe to be putting all the traps out. He looks a very clean one to me, that one, doesn't he? Very clean. What on earth he's doing inside a watering can, I don't know. But he's getting put out on the raptor table. Nothing gets wasted down here. He's just sleeping. He's actually sleeping. He's an ex-mouse, that one, a sleeping one. I think he's a Norwegian grey. And up there in the sky is somewhere Colin will definitely have seen me put that mouse out on the feeding table. And here he comes. Just like ringing a dinner bell. Well, there you go. You never know what you're going to get in your watering can. And Colin was up there, had a very nice lunch of watered mouse. Anyway, thanks for watching this sort of random one. Sorry I didn't catch any fish on the beach. Bit trip I did, you know, that was the way fishing goes, isn't it? But you cannot say that I don't put up different stuff to every other YouTube channel. No, they're not going talking to dogs, are they? See you in the next one. Hopefully there'll be some more dogs in it. Not dogfish, just dogs.